Michelle for virtualassistant-live.com and valive.tv. Over on the blog today, I have written a post about quite a big topic really. Although it hasn't been for me, I've actually noticed that there's a lot of people on forums, social media, networking sites, that type of thing, blogs, all discussing this topic of the term virtual assistant and what it means. Should you call yourself a virtual assistant? The reasons why you should call yourself a VA, the reasons why you shouldn't call yourself a VA, all sorts of other alternatives that are coming up, like, for example, online business manager, online business consultant, administration consultant, executive assistant, personal assistant online. You know, there's so many options and things out there for what you can call yourself. Personally, I still call myself a virtual assistant because honestly, I have never ever had a problem with anybody or any client or potential client with the term virtual assistant. I'm quite happy for people to call me whatever they want to call me. And I've never had any sort of negativity or anything like that sort of, come through to me with regards to the term virtual assistant. I'm not denying it doesn't happen. It must be happening at the moment because there's all sorts of people debating about it and talking about it and what the best thing to call yourself is. But really what I just want to say is that the term virtual assistant to me just means the act of assisting somebody online. It's kind of like does what it says on the tin. And I have absolutely no problem being called a virtual assistant because I do actually assist people online, so it's no problem for me. The most important thing for me is not what people call me, not how people perceive me, but it's the relationships within my business and with my clients, and it's more like actions speak louder than words. The things that we do in our business, the way we present ourselves, the way we carry ourselves online, our interactions, that type of thing. That's what's going to make people see you, the person, rather than, just your title. And obviously there's varying degrees of virtual assistant. I'm pretty confident that this debate all came around. It started around the time, I think, of when offshore VAs started coming on the scene. Because when I started back in 2007, there was or a virtual assistant was still very much for sort of UK, Americans, Australians, that type of thing, and we were all sort of charging reasonably the same rate. There was never really any sort of real competition in the VA world, but then all of a sudden offshore VAs started coming online. And because of a lower economic climate that they live in, like for example places such as India or the Philippines, then they started obviously charging rates which were more pertinent to where they were living. So I think this is how it's all come about. I think this is why people are concerned about calling themselves a virtual assistant, because they don't want to be associated with VAs in maybe lower economic climates. I think that's why it's come about. I can't imagine any other reason, because there's a lot of entrepreneurs and obviously books like the 4-Hour Workweek that are educating people out there on what a VA is, and most of the time, people will consider in their mind that a virtual assistant is somebody who works sort of in a third world country for quite a low rate. Every virtual assistant has their place. Every virtual assistant has their market, and I've never ever come across anybody have a negative feeling or a negative vibe towards me because I am a VA. And honestly, if anybody doesn't want to pay your rates because they think they can get it cheaper elsewhere, or they consider you kind of like an underdog because you're a virtual assistant because you use that name, then you don't really want to be working with those people anyway. Even if you did call yourself something else and they thought that that was fine, if they think that virtual assistants are like underdogs, then why would you want to be working with those people? So it's literally just best if you come across anybody like that to say, sorry, I couldn't help you on this occasion. Really be choosy about who you work with, and obviously if people contact you and they've seen your rates and everything like that, then they probably know what they're going to expect. So I hope this helps. I've gone really in depth over it on the blog. I've really written out, you know, my ideas and my thoughts on whether you should call yourself a virtual assistant. And also as well, I think it's also important to take into consideration what the other names are and the other terms and use those as well. It's really all about what you feel comfortable with, and not really about how people are going to perceive you because you're just calling yourself a virtual assistant. Anyway, I hope this helps, and I'll see you on the next video.